Welcome to my channel. Before you scroll past this video, ask yourself one honest question. How many hours of your life have you already lost to a tomorrow that hasn't even arrived yet? How many nights of sleep? How many quiet mornings? How many moments with people you love have been quietly stolen by a worry that, in the end, never even came true? That is the thief we are exposing today, and by the time this video ends, you will see it differently forever. Because the truth is simple and it is powerful. The future is not something to fear, it is something to build, brick by brick, action by action, day by day. And the people who understand this difference are the ones who end up living free while everyone else stays trapped in endless what ifs. Most people spend their days worrying about money, about success, about failure, about relationships, about their career, about things that have not even happened yet. And because of this, they lose their peace today, they lose their happiness today, they lose their energy today, and slowly the future becomes a thief that steals the present moment right out of their hands. But what if most of those worries never happen at all? What if the same energy you pour into worrying could instead be poured into improving your life? What if the real secret to a better future isn't worrying about it, but simply preparing for it, one honest step at a time? Stay with me, because today we are going to break this down completely, and along the way, you will also be sharpening your English. So listen closely to the vocabulary, listen closely to the rhythm of the sentences, and try to think in this language as you listen, because every minute spent here is also a minute of practice. One of the biggest mistakes people make is spending far more time worrying about the future than actually preparing for it. They think about tomorrow all day long, yet they do almost nothing today. And this creates a painful, repeating cycle. The more they worry, the less they act, and the less they act, the more they worry, until the cycle swallows them whole. But here is the truth hiding underneath all of it. The future is not created by worry. The future is created by action. Picture a farmer who spends every single day staring at the sky, anxious about the harvest, but who never actually plants a single seed. That farmer will have nothing to harvest because worry does not grow crops. Action grows crops. Now, bring this closer to home. Think about learning English itself. So many learners worry endlessly. What if I never become fluent? What if my English is never good enough? What if I make mistakes in front of others? What if people laugh at me? These worries can feel painfully real in the moment, but ask yourself honestly, do they improve your English even 1%? They do not. Only practice improves English. Only action improves English. Only quiet, consistent effort improves English. And this exact principle stretches across every single area of your life without exception. If you want better health, worrying about your body will not change it, but choosing to exercise will. If you want financial freedom, anxious thoughts about money will not build it, but learning a skill and taking consistent action will. If you want real confidence, sitting in fear will not create it, but facing one challenge, then another will. Action is the bridge between where you are standing right now and where you actually want to be standing tomorrow. So many people are frozen, waiting for certainty before they ever take that first step. They want guarantees. They want perfect conditions. They want to feel completely ready before they begin, but life rarely, if ever, hands out those guarantees in advance. Nearly every successful person you admire started before they felt ready. They started while uncertain, while nervous, even while afraid. And the only real difference between them and everyone else is that they moved forward anyway. Picture someone standing at the bottom of a massive mountain, the peak disappearing into the clouds above. If they spend the whole day frozen at the base, staring upward and imagining every possible disaster on the climb, nothing changes, nothing moves, nothing grows. But the moment they take one single step forward, everything shifts, because that one step becomes another, and that one becomes another, and slowly, quietly, they find themselves standing in places they once believed were completely impossible to reach. You do not need to solve your entire future today. You only need to take the next step, and that single shift in focus changes everything. The future stops feeling so frightening the moment you anchor yourself in today's responsibilities instead of tomorrow's uncertainties. Ask yourself, what can I do today? What can I improve today? What can I learn today? What action can I take right now, in this exact moment? These questions create real progress, and progress creates real confidence, the kind that worry could never give you. So many people exhaust themselves trying to control a future that is, by nature, largely unknown and unknowable. But what you can control is today. You can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control your habits. You can control your decisions. And it is precisely these things, repeated day after day, that quietly shape the future you are so afraid of. Think about a tall building rising into the sky. Before it ever exists, workers lay one brick, then another, and the building is not created in a single afternoon. It is created piece by piece, patiently, deliberately. Your future is being built in exactly the same way. Every healthy habit is a brick. Every hour spent learning is a brick. Every act of discipline is a brick. Every positive decision, however small, is a brick. Day by day, whether you realize it or not, you are already building your future. And the only real question is whether you are building it through action or through worry, because worry alone creates nothing at all. Action creates change. Worry alone creates fear. Action creates confidence. Worry stares at problems. Action moves towards solutions. The future is not built tomorrow, it is built today. And every single action you take in these next 24 hours is quietly shaping the life you will be living next year. So stop asking, what if everything goes wrong? And start asking, what can I do right now to make things even slightly better? Because that one question alone has the power to change the entire direction of your life. One of the strangest things about the human mind is that it constantly invents problems that do not actually exist. So many people spend hours, even days, worrying about situations that never happen. They imagine failure before it occurs. They imagine rejection before a single word is spoken. They imagine disaster before anything has gone wrong at all. And then they suffer, fully and painfully, because of events that exist only inside their own heads. Think honestly about your own life for a moment. How many things have you worried about in the past? How many nights have you spent overthinking in the dark? How many times have you imagined something terrible happening only for it to never arrive? For most people, the honest answer is very few of those fears ever came true, and yet they spent days, weeks, sometimes entire months suffering because of thoughts that were never even real. This is exactly why worry is so dangerous, because it makes you suffer twice, once in your imagination, and then again only if the worst case actually happens, which it usually does not. Picture a student preparing anxiously for an exam, repeating for weeks, I am going to fail, my future is ruined, I am not smart enough. They lose sleep over it, they lose their confidence over it, and then the exam finally arrives, and they pass with room to spare. All of that suffering, every sleepless night, was completely unnecessary. The fear felt real, but the problem itself was only imaginary. This pattern repeats endlessly across every part of life. A person dreads a difficult conversation, and the conversation goes fine. A person dreads a job interview, and the interview goes well. A person dreads making a careless mistake, and the mistake never even happens. The mind, left unchecked, constantly builds stories that are far worse than the reality waiting for you. This does not mean hard things never happen, because challenges are simply part of life, and difficult moments will always find their way to your door, eventually. But worrying about them in advance does not make them any easier to face when they arrive. It only steals your peace today for a battle that may never even take place tomorrow. Picture yourself carrying a heavy backpack, and now imagine filling that backpack with rocks, one rock for every future problem that may never actually happen. Soon the backpack becomes unbearably heavy, and life itself starts to feel exhausting for no real reason at all, And that is exactly what worry does to you. It makes you carry problems that do not exist yet, and sometimes problems that will never exist at all. Truly successful people understand something essential here. When a real problem finally appears, they deal with it directly, but they refuse to spend their days fighting imaginary battles in advance. They save their energy for reality, not for imagination, because their mental energy is valuable, their attention is valuable, their peace is valuable, and those things are never meant to be wasted on disasters that exist only in the mind. One of the biggest causes of stress in anyone's life is trying to control things that were never within their control to begin with. People worry about the economy, about what others think of them, about events they have absolutely no power to change, and as a result, they feel powerless, drained, and stuck. Imagine trying to control the weather through sheer worry alone. No matter how much you stress about it, the weather will do exactly what it wants regardless. But now imagine taking that same energy and using it to prepare instead, carrying an umbrella, wearing the right clothes, planning your day wisely around it. Suddenly, you are focused on what you can actually control, and that shift changes everything. You cannot control every event that happens to you. You cannot control other people's opinions of you. You cannot control the future itself. But you can control your attitude, your effort, your habits, your actions, and your response to whatever difficulty comes your way, and this is exactly where your real power lives. Think again about learning English. Can you control how quickly everyone else around you learns? No. Can you control whether every single conversation goes perfectly? No. But you can control your practice, your consistency, your effort, and your willingness to keep showing up, and those things matter infinitely more than any imagined outcome. Imagine two people facing the exact same challenge, side by side. One spends the entire day complaining about it, while the other spends the day quietly searching for solutions. The second person is far more likely to improve their situation, not because life handed them anything easier, but simply because their focus was different from the start. Focus determines energy, energy determines action, and action determines results, which is exactly why protecting your focus matters so much. One of the biggest reasons people feel overwhelmed about their future is that they insist on carrying tomorrow's problems today, thinking about next week, next month, next year, and everything that could possibly go wrong along the way until their mind grows exhausted and their motivation quietly disappears. But life was never meant to be lived 1 year at a time. It is lived one single day at a time. Nobody climbs an entire mountain in one step, and nobody builds a meaningful life in a single afternoon. Everything unfolds step by step, day by day, moment by moment, and the moment you focus only on today, the goal stops feeling impossible and starts feeling completely manageable. Imagine driving down a dark road at night, unable to see the entire journey ahead, only the small stretch illuminated by your headlights, and yet you keep driving forward anyway, because that small bit of light is always enough to get you safely to the next part of the road, and life works in exactly the same quiet, patient way. Many people are not actually afraid of the future itself. They are afraid of their own ability to handle whatever the future brings, asking themselves constantly, what if something goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I simply cannot handle it? And these questions alone are enough to create deep, lasting fear. But remember this, you have already survived difficult moments before. You have already overcome situations that once felt completely impossible. And the fact that you are here right now, reading these very words, is proof of exactly how capable you truly are. Think back across your own life for a moment to the times you felt scared, uncertain, even convinced you would never make it through. And yet, here you are, having survived, adapted, and grown stronger because of it, not in spite of it. So many people underestimate themselves constantly, focusing only on their weaknesses and their fears while completely forgetting their own quiet strength. But strength was never something you were simply born with. It is something you build slowly, through every single challenge you face and choose to learn from. Picture a tree standing firm during a violent storm, shaken by powerful winds and battered by heavy rain, and yet over time, that very storm helps strengthen its roots deep into the earth, and people grow in exactly the same resilient way. Future challenges will always meet a future version of you, a stronger version, a wiser version, a far more experienced version than the one sitting here today, and that alone is worth remembering on your hardest days. One of the greatest thieves of happiness is living inside problems that do not even exist yet. Imagining failure before you try. Imagining rejection before you even speak a single word. And suffering deeply for reasons that were never real to begin with. Picture someone preparing anxiously for a job interview, replaying every possible disaster for weeks in advance, only to walk in and have it go perfectly fine, proving once again that the real problem was never reality itself, it was only imagination running wild. One reason people worry so much about their future is that they desperately want immediate results, immediate success, immediate proof that things are working, but life rarely moves that quickly because anything truly valuable takes real time to grow. A tree takes time, a strong body takes time, fluent English takes real time. And just like a farmer who plants seeds and trusts the quiet, invisible process beneath the soil without digging them up every single day to check, you too must learn to trust your own process, even when the results are not yet visible to the eye. Perhaps the most important lesson of all is learning to live fully and completely in the present moment. Because almost every worry about the future shares one thing in common: it quietly pulls you away from the life happening right in front of you, right now, today. So many people keep telling themselves, I will be happy when I succeed, when I earn more, when everything finally becomes perfect. But life is never truly perfect. And if you keep postponing your happiness until some flawless future arrives, you risk spending your entire life simply waiting for a moment that never comes. The future will arrive whether you spend today worrying about it or not. So instead of pouring your energy into fearing tomorrow, pour that same energy into improving today, because you are far stronger than the things you fear, far more capable than you currently believe. And the very best way to prepare for your future is simply to become the best version of yourself today, right now, in this exact present moment. Because life, in truth, is happening right now.